Welcome to another edition of Let's Play WWE 2015. We are here tonight on pay-per-view. It is, and now we move forward as the primetime players beat the Ascension. If you want to know why you've never seen anything about the primetime players versus the Ascension, well, think about it. Maybe it's because I put it on the B show. And maybe that's exactly the reason why it's on the pre-show. Now, if you remember to get... this is actually how we kick off the show, with Mr. McMahon pulling up in his limo outside the Staples Center here in Los Angeles. Vince McMahon pulls up outside following the announcers welcoming us to TLC. But either way, Vince is here tonight at TLC, and in many ways, it could have something to do with the little meeting, the private meeting that Brad Maddox and Stephanie McMahon had this past Monday night on Raw. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, a link will be up in the top right corner. Go back and watch the last episode of Monday Night Raw, where Brad Maddox and Stephanie McMahon have a private meeting because Brad had an idea. And obviously, it involved Vince. Now, we move forward where the first match, the opening contest of this pay-per-view, is Mark Henry reuniting with his longtime friend and former tag team partner, D'Lo Brown, against the New Day. That's right, D'Lo Brown is back in the WWE. He's back in WWE because his friend Mark Henry needed a tag team partner to go against the New Day. But the question is, as you see, Big E gets counted out as Kofi and Big E. Well, basically, you'll find out why they got counted out later, because they got promo time. But either way, did you really think I was going to have Mark and D'Lo lose in D'Lo's return? And also, what's the point of making him lose if I want to get more than a month out of a feud? I'm not the real WWE, and unlike how it works in Ring of Honor, or how it's been working in Ring of Honor, the way I'm booking WWE, I think has been better. But that's just me. Either way, we move forward with the next match here tonight. The next segment, rather, and it's AJ backstage warming up for her triple threat match against Nikki and Natalya later tonight. And Paige goes up, enters the screen, enters the camera shot. The history between Paige and AJ is not that hard to remember, but in many ways, since the start for the last month, Paige has really taken a back seat in the Divas division to Natalya. Because if you remember real WWE, Nikki, Paige, AJ, Brie was the Divas division basically during this time, because this is around the time when Natalya became the manager of Tyson and Cesaro. But I did it a little reverse, and I put Natalya in the title picture, and I kept Paige out of it. Paige, either way, wishes AJ luck tonight for her first match, or for her in her Divas title match. Now, like I said earlier, you would find out why the New Day got counted out. And this is when they explain their actions from earlier as why they walked out. And they, talk about the power of positivity, and how the power of positivity is running low with the New Day, and that's what was running low with the New Day. That's why they had to walk away. Because Mark Henry, you might be the world's strongest man, but you are the world's weakest tag team partner, because of all the people you pick you picked D'Lo Brown? Who the hell is D'Lo Brown? Who? You know, when the New Day does their who? New Day is the future of the WWE's tag team division, because we're the only ones in this division that aren't, well, if I told you Big E was talking, aren't booty. That aren't booty. Mark Henry, you picked a tag team partner that was booty. And fact is, we don't wrestle booty. That's why we walked away, because Mark, if you want another match against the New Day, you gotta find yourself a new tag team partner. Because we won't wrestle you if you have him as your partner. Because Mark, no matter how much you think it isn't 1999 anymore. It is a new day. I think that actually went well. If you remember now, for this segment, or for this match rather, if you remember a few weeks ago, Bad News Barrett issued his Bad News Challenge, which was his traditional open challenge that he did since he returned from his injury back in November on SmackDown, and was exclusive to SmackDown. And it was accepted about 2 weeks ago by R-Truth, and R-Truth was victorious against Bad News Barrett in the Bad News Open Challenge, which caused Bad News to attack R-Truth after the match, which set up this rematch tonight at TLC. And Bad News Barrett gets his revenge over R-Truth and gets the victory. Well, basically gets the win back. And now we move forward with the next match. Natalya has a lot on her plate tonight because she will be managing Kid and Cesaro when they face Gold and Stardust in a tag team title match tonight. And also, Natalya is up to defend her WWE Divas title later tonight in a triple threat match against Nikki and AJ. Speaking of Gold and Stardust against Cesaro and Kid, look who won. Gold and Stardust lose the WWE Tag Team titles to Goldust and Stardust. And Kid and Cesaro are the new WWE World Tag Team Champions. That's right. Surprise, surprise, surprise. The surprises just keep coming. And you want to see another surprise? Well, did you expect Daniel Bryan to be in action tonight? See, picture this. You're watching WWE TLC. It's 2 weeks after Daniel Bryan has returned from his injury. Actually, wait, a week since Daniel Bryan returned from his injury, as he returned last week on Raw. And Daniel Bryan wants to get back in the ring. But both Stephanie and Brie don't know if it's such a good idea, because Daniel just spent 8 months on the shelf. 8 months out, injured, after having to vacate the WWE World Heavyweight title back in May due to injury. Now he's back, and he wants to get in the ring, but everybody isn't letting him, but nobody's letting him, so that's why he took it upon himself to come out here and issue an open challenge to anyone, not just under a WWE contract, but any professional wrestler in the state of California, to come out here and face him one-on-one. And surprise, Look who accepts the challenge. No, don't think that Daniel actually versed Brie. That didn't happen. Remember, this is still the WWE. This is not an independent company. I am not a fan of intergender matches unless it's an intergender tag team match. But there you go. Brie comes out and she begins to plead with Daniel. Daniel, please think of your career outside of wrestling. Think of your future outside of wrestling. Think of your life. Think of the fact that me and you are going to start a family soon, Daniel. What if you get injured again? What if you get injured again and you can't come back? What if you get injured again and it leaves you paralyzed and you can't play with our kids? And you can't be the father I know you want to be? What if that happens, Daniel? What if that happens? Because I can't speak on this because I'm not a father, because I can't speak on this because I'm not Daniel Bryan, I would let Daniel Bryan have complete freedom to speak freely, to say what he wants to say, to speak from his heart, to put real emotion in this segment, to put real feelings in this segment, to show that he can talk when you let him. And that's why this segment will be unscripted for the part of Daniel Bryan. After Daniel's done with his piece, Brie takes back the center stage and says, Daniel, I thought you might say that. That's why I didn't come alone. And Brie points to the stage, and you hear the car crash. That's right. How'd you like my rendition of Mick Foley's song? Mick Foley makes his presence felt here tonight at TLC as he is on the side of Brie, because if anybody can attest to not getting out before it was too late and having to retire because of injury, it's Mick Foley. Because let me just share a little nugget of jubilation with you. Mick Foley can't look at a computer screen for too long because of the amount of concussions he sustained. Mick wanted to come back to the WWE, but couldn't, because he couldn't wrestle anymore, because he couldn't get clearance to wrestle. So if anybody could come in and make Daniel Bryan see that retiring before on your own volition and retiring before injuries take you away, it would be Mick Foley, because I'm damn sure that if Mick could've, he would've. But the love that Mick has for what he did and what he still does in his occasional appearances in WWE is indescribable. And that's why I would not let Mick have a script for this segment either. Why? Because it's not just going to be Mick talking. It's going to be Daniel talking too. And that's why Mick will be able to be free in this segment and not have a script. Other than Brie's side of the segment, because I don't know if Brie could carry herself unscripted, Mick and Daniel will be unscripted, but Brie will not be. And now we move forward as Seth Rollins goes against the Big Red Monster Kane. And Seth Rollins defeats Kane following interference from Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble. That's right. That's right. The reason why J&J Security did not make an appearance and was not on Raw at all or SmackDown at all was because I was saving them for TLC. I was saving them for tonight because I was planning this match, and the only way I was going to let this match happen is if Seth would get the win, but in a dirty fashion. But either way, Seth wins, and following the match, Joey and Jamie don't leave ringside quick enough, and Kane attacks both members of J&J Security, leaving them laying in the ring. And it leaves you wondering, if he could do that to J&J Security, what is he going to do to the Seth Rollins the next time he gets his hands on Seth? Earlier tonight, we saw Tyson Kidd and Cesaro defeat Golden Stardust to win the WWE World Tag Team titles. Well, now it's time for Natalya to defend her WWE Divas title. And guess who retains the title? Natalya retains the WWE Divas title after eliminating Nikki first and then AJ next. But look at that segment. Look at what the caption says. During the match, we also had Paige accidentally hit AJ. You think that had anything to do with the finish? Paige caused AJ the Divas title match and her opportunity to win back a title that in many ways she never lost, because it was vacated from her. But either way, things took a turn for the interesting, because now Paige and AJ are about to collide. But what does that mean for Natalya? Who knows? We'll see what happens. Well, basically, I moved the Divas title match back because I added it because of Cesaro and Kidd's match and the fact that Natalya would be at ringside for that match, and I didn't want two Natalya segments back to back, so I pushed it back, but I never pushed this segment back. Basically, let me ask you this: if Paige and AJ just went after each other in the ring, if Paige and AJ just saw each other in the ring, and Paige was just in the ring and AJ was just in the ring, how could they be backstage within seconds? So that's why this segment should have been back further. But either way, I'm gonna detail what the importance of this segment. Think about it. When was the last time you actually saw two women fight backstage, get into a brawl backstage? Paige and AJ are backstage. Well, actually, Paige is walking backstage happy with what she did, and AJ runs up from behind her, tackles her down, and they start brawling with each other backstage. That's actually how that segment could happen right after the match, because Paige left the ring right after she caused AJ to lose. And then a whole host of agents and staff pull them apart, but either way, the women are having brawls in the backstage area. That's what I call a Divas Revolution. That's what I call a revolution. Not the garbage of having three-corner tag team matches every single week, or three-way tag team matches every single week, with different variations of the same people. Doing something different and unexpected is what I call a revolution. Now we move to the segment, the reason why Mr. McMahon is in the arena tonight in Los Angeles, and that is because Vince discloses what the meeting was about. The meeting was about Brad has knowledge of who the hacker is. And Vince comes out and says, the hacker was me. I have been hacking my own show because I wanted to get your attention. Because I am Vince McMahon and I can do anything I want. I am Vince McMahon, and I am the hacker. I am the one who pulled SmackDown from your sites. I am the one who interrupted me. I interrupted myself last week, a few weeks ago, when I was about to introduce the challenger for Brock Lesnar tonight at TLC. Why? To throw you idiots off. It was me all along. I am the hacker. Then Brad grabs a mic, says, Vince, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have to do this. But before Brad can say anything, Vince says, you son of a bitch, you don't say nothing. You don't say nothing. Because you're fired. Now get the hell out of my arena. You're fired. That's right. Brad Maddox is fired because he was about to spoil, in many ways, well, very possible that he was about to spoil Vince McMahon's fun. Why would Vince want anybody to spoil his fun? But for more on those events, you gotta tune in tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw, as you won't hear nothing else about that tonight. Because right now we move on as The Miz comes down to ringside to do color commentary for the next match. And the next match sees, much like the main event, is to determine the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight title at the Royal Rumble. This match is to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental title, the man who will get the next shot against The Miz and his Intercontinental title, and Dolph Ziggler is victorious by disqualification after Harper would not back off and kept ignoring the referees. The referee basically telling him, stop doing what you're doing, you have until 5, stop doing what you're doing, it's rope break. Basically ignoring the referee who was telling him the rules and telling him to stop. Basically not breaking the hold. Not following the rules. He gets disqualified. Simple. It just happens so rarely that it's very difficult to explain. Now we move to the broadcast position. Michael, Jerry Lawler, and John Bradshaw Layfield are at the broadcast position, and they talk up the main event with with John Cena, Randy Orton, and Dean Ambrose all colliding in a triple threat TLC match where the winner will go on to face Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight title at Royal Rumble. But also, they talk up the fact that the brawl from earlier between AJ and Paige backstage, saying putting over the hatred between these two women, and the fact that the hatred between them must be so heated and deep for them to actually go at it backstage. To go at it in the backstage area. There's no padding back there. There's no give on that concrete floor. It's just concrete. It's just cement. Nothing else. But those two women hate each other so much that they don't care. They just want to get at one another. Things are going to be interesting as they continue to develop between Paige, and AJ. Now we move forward with the next segment as I give you a highlight package highlighting the return of Rob Van Dam and his victory over Rusev a few weeks back on Super SmackDown, where Rob Van Dam won the WWE United States title and stuck Rusev with his first loss in the WWE. And speaking of Rusev's first loss, this actually sees Rusev get his second loss, but think about why I made it a tables match. Because... does Rusev have to be pinned? Oh, no. Can Rusev lose without being pinned? Yes, that's why I made it the match. Rusev loses and doesn't have to take another loss. Another pinfall loss. He lost the tables match, though, to Rob Van Dam when Rob put him through a table with the 5-star frog splash, and Rob Van Dam shows that he might be older, but he can still do what he did when he was young. Now we move backstage with Dean Ambrose in a pre-match promo as he puts over the fact that he is the inexperienced one, that he is the one not used to being in the spotlight, but he's ready to take the spotlight. He's ready to be the one. He's ready to have all eyes on him, because he is sick and tired of being pushed aside and pushed to the background. And it's now time for him to be the man. And it starts tonight, because he is going to be the one who climbs to the top of that ladder, grabs that contract, and faces Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble for the WWE World's Heavyweight Championship. And John Cena walks into the interview section, or interview area, where Dean is having his interview. And John says, "Dean, you might be a lunatic. You might be hungry. You might be all that and more. But the fact is, I am still the face that runs the place, and the future has to go through me. And if you want Brock Lesnar, you got to beat me to get there. Because I want him just as much as you do. And I am not going to go quietly." The tension, the drama between Cena and Ambrose there exists. I mean, go back to earlier in the year when Cena and Ambrose had tension between each other when both of them were feuding against Seth Rollins. I believe that was last year. I mean, 2014 and not 2013. I don't remember, though, to be honest with you. It was a long time ago. 2 years ago. Very long time. This video package goes back to the beginning of November when the WWE World Heavyweight title was vacated, or was supposed to be vacated, but Brock refused to give the title back. So there was a tournament to determine who would be the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And then you fast forward to the week before Survivor Series, when both Randy Orton and John Cena were taken out. Were taken out by a mystery attack, a mystery assailant. And that left Brock Lesnar wide open for Survivor Series with no challenger. And then, slowly but surely, weeks went by. A month went by, and Randy and Cena returned to television. And now, about a month after they got taken out by the mystery attacker, now both Randy and Cena get the opportunity to challenge for the WWE, to become number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight title at the Royal Rumble. So, without further ado, let's find out who's facing Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble in January. The winner is Randy Orton. Unfortunately, this match did not get anywhere close to what I thought it did, and apparently it has something to do with John Cena's poor gimmick and Dean Ambrose's poor gimmick, which just means that their gimmicks aren't rated above a 71. Unfortunately, affected me big time. But also, as you can tell, the reason why John Cena did not win is because look who interfered. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ran in and took John Cena out of the match. He took him out of the match, and Randy Orton just had to go against Dean Ambrose. And Randy Orton won, but the pay-per-view didn't end with... Well, and this was also probably the reason why the match didn't get very well is because none of them could do high spot based matches, and apparently a TLC match is a high spot based match that none of them can do. But the pay-per-view did not end just with Randy Orton celebrating, because what would a pay-per-view be without it finishing with a face-off? Randy Orton is celebrating, injured, tired after a long, draining match, and a long, draining tables, ladders, and chairs match, and Brock Lesnar's music begins to play. Brock Lesnar's music begins to play. Brock walks out. You've seen this many a time. Brock is heading to the ring. Paul tries to reason with Brock. Randy, in typical Randy fashion, just pulls a Steve Austin and flips the double bird. He flips the double bird. Just imagine that. Randy standing in the middle of the ring on pay-per-view. Well, on WWE Network, and flipping the bird. Of course the camera didn't catch it. But the people did. And Brock did. And that, my friends, was enough to let Brock Lesnar get closer and break Paul Heyman. But did Brock and Randy get against each other? No, because Paul didn't give up, and that led to many people, as you can tell, running to the ring to break it up. And not just these guys, a whole host of people running to the ring to separate Brock and Randy before, not so much before they can make contact, but more so before they can get too physical with each other, because they did make contact, but neither dropped the other with a finish. Brock didn't do a suplex. Randy didn't do a dropkick, a backbreaker, whatever. Randy didn't do his DDT. Fact of the matter is, all that happened is punches were thrown and people bum rushed the ring to break up Randy and Brock before things got chaotic. But either way, just picture it. Brock's being held back by Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar is just standing there staring at Randy Orton. Randy Orton's in the ring, and he flips Brock the double bird. Brock comes bum rushing the ring. Brock comes running to the ring. Randy and Brock get into an exchange. Fists are flying everywhere. And everyone, the backstage area empties. Everybody's running to the ring, separating Brock and Randy before things get chaotic. And all you see when the pay-per-view comes to a close and the show goes to black is the ring full with a mass of humanity, and everybody holding back Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton, and you hear the crowd in Los Angeles at the Staples Center cheering, yelling, and screaming, "Let them fight! Let them fight!" And Michael Cole is screaming at the top of his lungs, "You want to see more? Fans, we're out of time tonight. Tune in tomorrow night, Monday Night Raw for the follow-up of TLC. Till next time." I know that half the shit that I just said Michael Cole would never say, but I'm not Michael Cole, and I'm kind of happy about that. But that's it for this pay-per-view. As you can see, the pay-per-view didn't do as good as I wanted it to, but with how bad the main event was, it could have done a whole lot worse. That's my fault for doing the main event the way it was and not picking another main event, but I figured it's TLC, I gotta do at least one TLC match. Just so happened that was the TLC that was the match I chose, and unfortunately didn't really work out. But let me know down in the comment section what you thought the best part of the show was, and what your most favorite part of the show was, what your least favorite part of the show was, what you thought I could have done better, and what you would like to see follow up next week on Monday Night Raw, tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. All that down in the comment section. And if you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time. Later.